Hello, and welcome to All Ages Storytime. We're going to hear a story today about an illustrator whose name is Ruth Chrisman Gannett. But first, let's start with our song. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. I'm glad to see you here. Every January, an award is given to an artist whose book for children is considered to have the best illustrations for that year. Honor awards are given to up to 3 artists whose work is also exceptional. The award is called the Caldecott Medal, and it was named in honor of an English illustrator named Randolph Caldecott. The award is given by the American Library Association. So each week during Read, Do, Explore, we'll hear a story about the life of a Caldecott Medal winner or honoree. This week, our story is about an illustrator named Ruth Chrisman Gannett. Ruth was born and grew up in California in the early years of the last century. She learned how to make things from her grandmother, who had been a pioneer farmer. Ruth was very good at making things and at creating art. She went to college at the University of California and graduated in 1911. About half her classmates were women, which was pretty uncommon for other colleges at the time. Most people didn't go to college, and especially most women. Ruth went to school with many other forward thinking women who were trying new things. They were becoming architects, chemists, college professors. They had to be brave to do jobs that women had never done before. And there were plenty of people who thought that women still shouldn't be doing those kinds of jobs. Ruth studied art and also education so she could be an art teacher. She loved her art classes. She was very, very good. She also had to study subjects that were hard for her, like Latin. She didn't like it very much. After she graduated from college, Ruth taught school in a small community of Orland, California, in the northern part of the state. The town was surrounded by orchards and cattle ranches. It was a growing town as more and more people moved to the area. Ruth was not your usual kind of teacher. She wanted her students to try things for themselves. She liked hands on work. Her principal thought her classes were way too loud. After teaching for several years, Ruth decided to try being an artist in New York City. And that is where our story starts. Ruth took the train from California to New York. That trip took her 4 days and 3 nights. When she got there, she found work at a very popular magazine called Vanity Fair. She did sketches for their articles. Ruth had always lived in smaller towns, so New York City was something totally new to her. She met lots of new people and tried new foods and had many exciting new experiences. Ruth had heard about 2 artists who were teaching classes in the city when she was there, so she signed up to learn from them. She took some lessons from Fito Best, who was a very well known Mexican artist and professor. Ruth was familiar with Mexican art styles from California, but Fito Best did more than teach about Mexican art styles. He taught his students to see how artists from different countries used the same ideas in different ways. It was a very new way to consider art. Winold Rees had come to America from Germany because he wanted to be a painter in a land that had lots of different kinds of people. His father had always told him to travel and find the most interesting things to paint. So Winold Rees went to live with the Blackfeet Nation of Native Americans in Montana. He painted portraits of many of their tribal leaders. He earned the people's respect. Whenever Rees was going to paint people, he wanted to know about how they lived so he could make a painting about them that was true to who they were. And these were Ruth's teachers in the big city of New York. A painter who wanted his students to see the way different people could use the same ideas, and the painter who wanted his students to spend time with their subjects and understand who they were. For a young artist, these were big ideas in a big city with a lot of big changes going on in her life because Ruth had fallen in love and she was about to get married. It all left Ruth feeling very unsure about herself and her art. These ideas were all so big. And these artists were so good. There were a lot of artists in New York, and many of them were very good. Maybe she wasn't so good. Maybe everybody else was better. Maybe everybody else was way better. Ruth became scared. She became scared that she wasn't good enough. She quit drawing. She quit making pictures. Can you imagine someone who loved art so much just stopped? No coloring, no painting, no drawing. Poor Ruth. Several years later, Ruth got divorced, she remarried, and now she had a young stepson and stepdaughter, and it took them all a while to get comfortable with each other. One of the ways Ruth helped the children get to know her was to draw pictures. They loved the pictures, and soon as they got to know her better, they loved Ruth. Ruth kept drawing pictures for books. One of her first ones was for John Steinbeck's book, Tortilla Flat. Then she started doing some pictures for other children's books. She really was a very good artist. And when her stepdaughter, who was also named Ruth, wrote a book about a dragon, our Ruth drew the pictures. The two Ruths did 3 books about the dragons. And Ruth, who had always been brave and who had always tried new things, learned what had been true all along. She was a very good artist. And that is the story from the life of Ruth Chrisman Gannett. Thanks for coming to Storytime, and let's end with our song. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. See you next week.